Okay, guys, Pain Points episode 7, and today we're going to talk about Tua. Is his time done in Miami? We're going to look at some NBA previews and a season shocker of the year. So, guys, let's start with Tua. Is his time done this year already?
Honestly, you see in that Miami situation, every single press conference is it's a hard watch, y'all. It's done. I feel like the time that they scored 70 on the Broncos has long been forgotten. Um, yeah, it's real crazy. I don't
Oh,
know what's going on with the personnel. Well, I do know it's the offensive line and just a bunch of issues. Tua's turnover issues it's been real bad this year. So I
Mhm.
do think his time is over in Miami, but I don't know how you cut him because there is a $90 million cap hit, which woof. Like that's for now. I understand how teams are like, yes, we got to pay our guy because you want to have a solid quarterback. But for a
mhm.
quarterback with certain injury issues and injury concerns, as much as Tua over the past few years, paying him all that money didn't make sense. Everyone's like, but that's what the market dictates. Well, this is one of those times where we have to admit the market did not dictate that much money. So I don't know how Miami gets themselves out of that situation, but they absolutely have to. Because
Right.
my goodness, Tua has been it's been bad, y'all. And then you see him calling out players, calling out everybody, like, oh, and then once you hear the wife and kids speech, it's like, oh man, all right. Like I could throw 5 touchdowns, 5 picks. I could go home to the family. Hey, bro, that is the quarterback of the team. Don't say, "Oh, I can throw 5 picks," and then actually do that. Like, let's not
Yeah, yeah.
let's not do that. So yeah, Tua, yeah, it was bad. It's real bad in Miami.
Yeah, it's bad, but a lot of blame to go around. I think they've already named him the starter for this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like him to continue to play because I've got him as my backup for fantasy. So I need him to kind of stay where he is just in case, in an emergency situation, if I need a few points, I'd like him to remain. Dolphins aren't going anywhere anyhow, so it really doesn't matter. So if I'm running the Dolphins, I play him anyway. I mean, with the money that he's making, I play it out. They've got diehard fans that are used to the misery anyway in Miami, so I wouldn't do anything rash. I let it play itself out. Draft a quarterback, and hope that you hit there. Again, like you said, you don't have to pay every single quarterback. Like we said the last episode, there's only what 3 quarterbacks that are worth top dollar.
Mhm.
Outside of that, just stack the rest of your roster and bring in somebody that's solid. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that in Indiana. We're seeing that, in a lot of other places here. We're seeing that in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's teams that are paying huge money to quarterbacks, but that's just not going to be sustainable. So stack the rest of the roster and get somebody who can play a little bit and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's the
Well,
way to do it.
I mean, I'm just concerned about all of his concussions. I'm like, how many more can he take?
I don't even know because after that like last one with it was the Thursday night one with the fingers. I was like, okay, this is the time where somebody got to be like, hey, bro, this is not
Yeah.
safe anymore. This is not good. Like that was one of the and again that was also the season with the Damar Hamlin injury as well. So like both of those that
Mhm,
season, I was like, okay, like we got to start having conversations about sitting people
mhm.
down and telling them, hey, bro, ball isn't everything. So at this time, that would have been the good moment to say, like, hey, let's go home to the wife and kids. Not and now everybody's like concerned about like, oh, how is it? How is the injury still affecting him? Is he still okay? And I was like, if you just left on that play, we would have just remembered you put something on the Broncos. Now we're remembering you for every single press conference that you do, which I've never seen Tua do this many press conferences in
Nah,
really
he's
ever. Y'all remember that or?
no, not at all, not at all. He was more quiet, more reserved, different. I mean, and it's seems like a lot changed since that last concussion. Actually, not to say that there's a relation, but since that last concussion and when he was so adamant about not wearing the guardian cap,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it's been like a different vibe from him ever since. Easy, even physically, even just his appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's slimmed down. He's more in shape. Has a different cut. Just has more of an edge to him, and he's just been vocal. Just has a totally different vibe now. Uh,
Oh.
yeah, I don't
I don't think I contributed
know.
to it, but it's different. But
Yeah.
man, your services might no longer be needed for that team, bro. So sorry to you. Wife, kids might be calling shortly, or somebody's gonna need a backup because
Yeah.
or it's gonna be a situation where all of a sudden you're gonna be a backup, and then you're gonna be a backup for Kevin O'Connell. You're gonna get in for the Vikings, and then all of a sudden you're gonna turn good again because that's how it happens apparently.
And
Like
lately,
you can't hit on the regular quarterback, but your backups, Kevin O'Connell, every single time.
yeah,
They're
Yeah.
legit.
What do you guys think would be a bold trade to get a different quarterback in there? Like, what quarterback could you see in a bold trade in Miami?
I would say, well, you're gonna not like this, but if they could trade some pieces for Kyler to get him in Miami,
Ooh,
I'm
man,
thinking that's Chris.
I,
We're like this.
dude.
yep,
Super
because I
Bowl.
think
Mm-hmm.
good vibes, Super Bowl with that division. Okay, get in that real quick.
Ooh,
But Jalen
Kyler and
Waddle,
Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill, and Kyler Murray with Devon A-Chain, I think that's a nice move. It gets him out of Arizona. Kyler's
Mhm.
already been on his more chill. He's always been this more chill, laid back quarterback
Yeah.
vibe. So Miami would be a perfect city for him. So I would say Kyler to Miami
Mm,
would make that team very interesting.
I've heard.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was literally thinking.
Mm,
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. That would be interesting. That would be a good fit for Kyler.
Mhm.
Wouldn't be much from an expectation standpoint for sure. So it'd be
Oh,
no way to go but up. And man, if he could get Tyreek back to be anywhere close to what he was, man, that would be that would definitely be exciting. But if I'm the Dolphins, I don't do that. Again, I would love to see it, but
Right.
if I'm running the Dolphins, I would stay
Draft.
clear of paying any money for any high end QB. I would try to just
Yeah.
stack that roster, gut it out, start from scratch, and
Mhm.
just really try to build a strong defense, strong line, and just bring in a QB that's looking for a second chance. So.
Yeah, I agree. That was more of like a bold one.
Yeah, I like it. No, great question.
All right, moving on. What is your guys' season shockers of the year?
okay. So first, the biggest shock in general is just the amount of parity, because from week to week you don't know
Mhm.
who's gonna win. Like that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
overall that's been the craziest part of the season because
Mhm.
the Panthers beating Dallas, the Browns beating the Packers, the Giants beating the Eagles. Just like we've seen upsets, we've had game of the year contenders week after week after week. I mean
Yeah.
Broncos, Giants.
Yeah.
33 points in the fourth quarter. Because I was watching that game on Red Zone and I was like, okay, there is no way that the Broncos are going to win. And I just
Crazy.
see crazy play after crazy play. The Giants scored. They missed the extra point. I was like, okay, there's no way they're going to get the field goal, right? They get the field goal. And I was like, wait, they scored. And somebody on Twitter posted this was like the Indiana Pacers whole finals run last year,
Hmm.
that same vibe, and it's just that was really crazy. So I love the parody. I love the fact that there are teams that are starting that we feel are separating themselves, but it still feels like any given Sunday, and that's something that I've enjoyed most about
Mhm.
this season.
Mhm.
And yeah, now again, some teams are starting to round back into form. Again, Kansas City, y'all. I'm gonna be real about that AFC. All the teams ahead of them do not have playoff experience and/or quarterbacks I trust. So
Mhm.
they might be going back for the fifth. What is it? The fourth or fifth time in a row? What is it? The fourth year in a row?
I think it's fourth.
It would be fourth in a row. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if they
So they're
won, it would
going.
have been a three-peat. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be their fourth Super Bowl in a row because they're rounding into shape. It's the Ravens' fault, that game versus the Ravens where
Mm,
Ravens defense gave it up. Yeah,
man.
it's the Ravens' fault for the Chiefs rounding into form. And
Mm,
yes, it doesn't switching up on Lamar. I'm blaming that defense because the Chiefs offense did not look like that. All of a sudden they play the Ravens
mm,
defense. I'm like, oh wait, we
Yeah.
remember who they are, and then
yeah.
they get Rasheed Rice back. So parity is
Ooh,
great in the
man.
NFC, but the AFC,
Somebody
yeah. We know what time it is, y'all. We
did
know what
somebody
time it is.
pick the Chiefs? Anybody pick the Chiefs?
Mhm.
Super
Somebody
Bowl
did.
on the show?
Somebody's
Yeah,
victory lapping right now, and
yeah.
I'm letting you. I'm letting you
I
because
think somebody did pick the Chiefs early on, and then stood 10 toes down after that 0-2 start. Didn't waver one bit. Now,
I'm glad you did because you were correct. I'll give you that one, man. I will definitely give you that one. That was like, again, the offense was 9 day. You can admit like it was a little shaky, but then Chargers are starting to charger. The Broncos look beatable. The Raiders, I mean, my good, like 67 yards passing.
Yeah.
In a professional football game. Like, I'm glad the teams that like suck generally still are like very bad, except us. But I'll get to the Panthers later.
Yeah.
I go for 3 lap too soon. I go too much too soon.
Yeah. Well, as far as surprises, I say my biggest surprise looking at where we are right now is probably the Cardinals beating the Panthers. That was probably the biggest surprise right now because, we look at where the Panthers are right now, being 4-3, and where the Cardinals are. If we look back, we go, man, that's a shock. When we look back at the end of this season when the Panthers are in the playoffs, when we'll be like, man, wow, how'd that happen? But anyway, I don't know why I got on that, Bree. That wasn't a shot, Bree. But man, one thing I want to go to though, kind of on this, you're talking about the parody, and you mentioned the Giants, man, Jackson Dart.
Oh,
Dude, man, how many endorsements is he gonna have? Being in New York, just with the swag that he has, man, he's gonna be able to get any endorsement he wants going into next season.
him and Scottovoo are like 2 frat guys just enjoying life. Like,
yes,
I love it.
They look like they're having so much fun, and they're like, the thing is, and because unfortunately it's like the team that they play for, it's like they're going to be in games the rest of the season because of Jackson Dart. And what is concerning is they were trying to do the Mahomes thing with him. But if y'all did not feel that Russell Wilson was that guy, Russell Wilson contributed to all 3 of those losses, y'all could probably be at 500 right now had he not started, or like slightly above 500 had he not been the starter. If you just roll with Jackson Dart. But that's why I'm like kind of confused with the whole decision, because now you're sitting at 2-5. You played the Eagles in a revenge game, and the Eagles' offense finally looks like they've tried to round back to form. So it's like, how's the rest of the season gonna go? Because they still have a rough schedule. So it's like, I feel like they're gonna be like the scrappy like 7-8 win team like throughout the rest of the season. But it's like, what sucks is that it could have been more had they just been like, okay, Dart's our guy. Because I feel like, and the big question I now have is like, should we keep saying that like, oh, we got to start? Like, I think we just have to realize Mahomes is an anomaly. There's no quarterback like Alex Smith who's going to like perfectly set the table up for Mahomes. There's no quarterback like Alex Smith, because Alex Smith is the ultimate like, check down, I'm gonna make the right play quarterback. That's literally who he was his entire career. There is like no other quarterback in NFL history who would have set the table as well as he did for Mahomes. So at the end of the day, y'all got to start your rookies. Like, you got to get them experience. I think the Jackson Dart experience shows us that, because it's like, dang, now the Giants don't have the opportunity to like see what the rest of their season could be. Because if y'all knew that y'all had that in the back, every Giants fan would be like, oh, why is Russ starting? Even after the Cowboys game, they would have been like, hey, bro, he's doing all of this stuff. He's giving us great throws, amazing on the run, and then he's also just sometimes just making the right play. So like, you have all of that, and you might have punted the season because you're like, okay, we want to wait, we want to try the Mahomes thing. I think more people need to realize the Mahomes thing is rare. That's not happening all the time, and you gotta start your rookies, because they might have had a lost season, and next year we'll see. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what about the so you may have been spot on this. What about the Commanders and the Cowboys? Because I think it was about 3-4 episodes ago, you said the Commanders would not make the playoffs.
Yes.
That sounded crazy. And it was like, man, and you said the Cowboys would make the playoffs. That's been up and down depending on the week. Some weeks that looks like that was no way. Some weeks with the offense, and now the fact that CD's back, you can kind of see it. So let's start with the Commanders and then go to the Cowboys.
I think with the Commanders and Cowboys, the Commanders especially, like, they're just injured and they have nobody on offense right now. And they're
Yeah.
relying on the rookie Krosky Merritt, who like has had fumbling issues and isn't like a big play guy, so they need to have a committee. And then Jayden Daniels, as good as he has been, because he hasn't had his weapons, they're not performing their best, and the defense has taken a massive step back. The concerns were correct because they have a very old defense. Like they don't have like a bunch of like young fresh talent. You see Marshawn Lattimore getting cooked. Bobby Wagner, legendary as he is, hey bro, you gotta hang it up because it's bad out here. Like it's just the defense is underperforming, and then you don't have anybody on offense to help equalize that. And plus, Jayden Daniels is getting hurt more and more. And another thing with Jayden Daniels, I'm gonna say this because, and with his mom posting the whole like we're not wishing RG3 thing on him, we're not wishing that. But if you see him run, he has to slide more. Like I watch Commanders games, and I sometimes I'm like, bro, you get out of bounds quick, but there are other times where you just don't slide at all.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta have a good separation of that because
Don't be another RG3.
yeah, because the injuries are starting to stack up so much this season. Because first it was his leg injury, now it's a hamstring. So it's like, okay, dude, like what's going on? Like we gotta figure.
Did he have injury issues in college?
He didn't have injury issues in college.
No.
That's the thing. He was fine all 5 years. He just transferred to LSU and then he balled out. But like the thing is, right now in this current season, it's like the injury issues we're starting to see more because it's like he's having to carry more of a load on the offense. And again, Terry McLaurin sitting out the whole season for the new contract, not getting chemistry, him getting hurt. That was great.
So predictable. That was so predictable.
With Terry McLaurin and Debo, I do think that like the injuries have just been, it's a lot because Debo was having a great season, gets hurt, and then all of a sudden it's over. Like it's not. Well, I'm not going to say their season's over, but there is a much more difficult schedule. I don't know how well they're going to be the rest of the year. And Dallas, if their defense just plays like that, because Dallas could score 40. Like this is Brian Schottenheimer. I am so sorry for doubting you and saying that you're a terrible head coaching hire because you and the new run game coordinator Clayton Adams, man. And then you got a kicker who can kick. He can hit field goals from 70 yards.
Oh God!
Like that is a crazy weapon to have come playoff time. So if they just figure out this defense, man, I really think Dallas could be something because Dak is having a great year. George Pickens is every single week. It's like 2 or 3 highlight catches per game, and it's beautiful to watch. And I'm glad that he's out of Pittsburgh because I feel like Mike Tomlin, like the one thing I will say about Mike Tomlin and his tenure as like the Steelers head coach, he lets the divas be divas. I feel like in Dallas, you're not hearing too many stories about George Pickens with that. It's really just seems he's about ball this year, so I do appreciate that. But yeah, he's killing it. And CD coming back. I played CD in fantasy this week. It wasn't good. Now once he got that like 70-yarder with the 2 DBs ran into each other, I checked my phone. I was like, somebody has CD. I checked the guy who won fantasy league I'm in. I was like, oh yeah, this is a rough week. So CD routing back to form. I mean, Dak's just looking like an MVP candidate. If their defense, again, if they just hold teams to 20 points, Dallas is going to score this year. So you don't got to be the best. I'm not asking you to be the Broncos. I'm not asking you to be the best defense in the league. You don't have to be the Chiefs' defense. You just have to hold teams to 20. Dallas' offense is going to handle the rest, and y'all should be a wild card team. And again, because of the NFC, and because of the NFC, it's like the NFC looks really, really tough this year because I don't know who. I know you still say the Rams, and they had a great performance against the Jags. So we'll see with that. But I still think Philadelphia has a chance with Dallas. If they get in, they can make some noise, which is one of the first times that we've said that in like a good couple of years.
But I will say though, I picked the Rams. I will happily be wrong if it's the Lions. Because the Lions are. It's not even the Lions are the most exciting team to watch in football. Now you could argue, now the Chiefs, because now they're getting all their people, but nah, the Lions won because they put up points or whatever, but then the swagger that they play with, they rep Detroit so well with just the way that they play. I was talking to my mom earlier about it because my mom's from Detroit, and I got a whole side in Detroit, and I was just like, man, it's just so wild how they rep from their whole attitude on the field and whatnot. So yeah, like if I could go to any stadium and see any team play right now, it would be to go to Detroit and see the Lions. So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm a Lions fan, but I genuinely I'm like every team they play against, it's like a fun game. Like Gibbs, he just had a 78-yard rushing touchdown.
Yes.
And he pushed through like everyone. Like he's an insane player, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan, but I truly, truly believe that like this is the year. Like they're doing so good. They just don't have Terrion Arnold or like a few other players, but I mean, it's better than last year, right? With all their injuries. So
I got a question with y'all injuries. Why is it that y'all turn into one of the best defenses in the league when your entire DB room's out? Like, what is that? Like, I was like, interception, fumble, interception. I was like, wait, what is happening?
I know, it was crazy. No, because our defensive coordinator is just that good. Like, we upgraded. We totally upgraded.
Big time.
Yes.
Big time. And I wasn't that big. I thought Aaron Glenn was getting, I don't know. I wasn't up on the Aaron Glenn hype. So yeah.
I mean, first off, him getting 7 sacks on Lamar made me be like, hold on, let me watch this dude. And then what they just did to Baker, hey man, we gotta have some conversation.
Poor Baker, sorry.
Baker down, man. He was
down. Like he had the MVP. It was looking good for him too. Like
I know, right? I know. I felt bad. I'm like, dang, the Buccaneers are a legit team. I was a little worried, like going into the game, but I was like, nah, the Lions got it. Sure enough, they got it.
Yeah. They just come in with
Arnold or Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph. Like, what is like the Lions are ridiculous. And and again, shout out to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's having a breakout year. I'm not gonna lie, David Montgomery. I got you on 2 fantasy teams. Hey, bro, it's Jahmyr's team now. Like you're gonna be the goal line guy, and it's great, game versus the Ravens, but man, it's a little quiet right now.
Yeah, there's not enough defense on Gibbs. They just let him go right on through.
Yeah, maybe a topic for next week is do they pay Gibbs?
They should. I mean,
I don't know.
But my thing is like you're paying a running back though. It's not like you're paying a quarterback. You feel me? So it's like
true.
Now again, the other thing is money. Now the other thing is the Eagles did extend Saquon, and we're seeing how that is. But it's like, how much are you going to pay him, knowing that you still have David Montgomery in the backfield where you can split carries? It's just that Jahmyr has been so good this year, where you have to consider like, okay, like is he going to be like our top back? Because like the Bijan Tyler Algier situation. Like, that's another thing that you have to look at as well. Because it's like Bijan makes that whole thing work. But then you see Tyler Algier come in and just make, like, a key play for the Falcons as well. So it's like, I don't know. Like, that's, like, the lighter version of this. Because Detroit obviously has, like, been in NFC Championships before well in the playoffs. Yeah. But I do think that, you're going to have to pay him. But it's like, how high do you pay him knowing that you've had David Montgomery over the years? Because you could talk about that in the negotiations, but that's the only thing I feel like the Lions would have on him. But he's still going to get paid. He's going to be like, he should be at least the top 3 highest paid. But I should say that he should be the highest paid because of how he splits carries. But
he should definitely be up there. If they're going to pay a back, it would be him. So I wouldn't be surprised, but if I had to say one way or another, my hunch is that they don't pay him. Just looking at their model and how they're constructing the team, they probably already, that GM is so amazing. He's probably already knows who he's looking to pick, to kind of come in next. And, I thought they were crazy when they let the 2 backs that they had go before. when it was time for them to get paid. Swift and they had another guy.
Swift and Jamal Williams, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, what are you doing? And then they got better and cheaper with Gibbs and Montgomery. So
yeah, they're smart.
They might do it again. You know?
I think that would be a mistake to get rid of Gibbs.
Yeah, get rid of Gibbs is crazy. Montgomery probably, but Gibbs, Gibbs looks like Gibbs looks like he could be top 3 in the league. Like it looks like
he can. Easily.
He can do it. For sure.
Easily. Yeah.
Like,
there's no doubt.
He had on that touchdown. I've only seen that from Tyreek Hill. Like I've never seen a running back do that because again, like I was a little young for CJ 2K, but
I love watching him and Cook are my 2 favorite running backs to watch right now this year. It looks like every time when they get halfway through the hole, it looks like they're taking it to the house. Yeah. It's just crazy.
Well, now it's bye week, so who are we gonna watch this week?
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Armageddon's hurt me in fantasy.
We got Panthers. So.
Yeah. Should I watch the Cardinals?
Yeah, Panthers versus the Bills. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, that's a little scary.
Well, it's annoying because of the Cardinals. Like every time they look like they're about to win, going into the fourth quarter, nope, so they're done. They're like they broke the record like in the league. Like they have like the 3rd straight like losing in the fourth quarter, leading by 7 points. Like at least we got a record.
Not the record y'all want, but it's a record.
Exactly. It just takes time. We still need to rebuild. It's fine.
It does.
Okay.
All right.
So now let's switch gears and talk about the NBA, guys. What do you like? Who do you think is going to win it all this year? Because it's very different this year.
Okay. As a Lakers fan, this might sound sacrilegious and crazy because, I want LeBron to finally retire on top, get his 5th ring, go off into the sunset, right? I know y'all are expecting that. Unfortunately, I will be choosing the arch rival of the Lakers of the past few years, the Denver Nuggets, to win it all. Now, let me give the reason. They have Jonas Valanciunas, and they got Cameron Johnson. Now, we know what Cameron Johnson can do as a Phoenix Suns fan. I know what Jonas Valanciunas fan, as a person who's watched Jonas Valanciunas play for a majority of his career, I've always wanted him on the Lakers to basically, when we had AD, basically to spell out AD so that AD didn't have to play the 5. Now that they finally have a capable center to give Jokic some time on the bench, I am very concerned about how good and deep this team is. They still have the best player in the world. They still have Jamal Murray. Cameron Johnson is basically Michael Porter Jr., but he can play defense, and he can shoot probably just as well. So, I am very concerned about that Nuggets team. They're deep. They're ready. And again, they took OKC 7, and they did not have as quality of a roster as OKC. So I definitely think that Denver is my team to win it all. I would not be shocked. I'm picking Denver, and I'm sticking with it because as much of a Lakers fan as I am, I don't think we have the depth. I think that we are very top heavy. Unless DeAndre Ayton miraculously becomes who he was supposed to be as the number 1 pick, Ree's shaking her head. Yeah, she knows.
I know what he's about. I've seen it.
Okay. So that's not giving me hope at all. Knowing that we need a center, and Bree's over here shaking her head about
it. You never know. Maybe he'll change. You don't know. You never know. I know. I know.
But I'm definitely picking the Denver Nuggets to win it all because again, the pieces that they added and the fact that they took OKC without those pieces. And again, I think that Jokic is going to be out for whatever revenge that Jokic can have because he just likes to drop triple doubles and look and shoot ridiculous shots and then just like go about his business just so he can go see his horses. So I love how this is like a side job to him. Yet he terrorizes like my team every single year. Like that's great. But Jokic and the Nuggets, I have them winning it all.
Yeah, they've got they made some great moves. Like the Nuggets a lot for sure. They took the Thunder to 7 last year, but again, J-Dub, that wrist injury. I mean, he's still not back. So we see just how serious that injury was. I think if if he can get back to 100%, I still say OKC repeats. They remind me a lot of the Bulls. NBA is back on NBC, so it's time for the next real dynasty, the next homegrown dynasty built through the draft and not teaming up. So we're going back to the 90s, back to the 90s now. Everything is good, and yeah, it's time for OKC to, do their thing and repeat.
Gotcha. Well, a lot of shots there at a certain person and team building, but we're not gonna discuss it. We just go nod our heads because as a Lakers fan, it sucks when it's your team. I'm gonna be honest, but the whole team building thing definitely sucks when it's your team because because signing Russell Westbrook because we got scared of the Nets literally set us back so bad.
Oh man,
So
Yeah.
I agree. I like on the team building point as a Lakers fan, it was good when we got AD, and then once a bunch of moves started happening, I was like, okay, let's stop this team building stuff.
Okay, let's stop there.
Let's stop there. You gotta go, bro. Let's move to the Luka era because that was a ridiculous move, bro.
It'll be interesting to see, what happens there with LeBron. When he shows back up, will they have a hole to climb? Can Luka carry without him? It's gonna be very interesting to see.
Listen, I've been a fan of him my entire life. I'm gonna be honest. I need him traded because I want my team to win. If the one thing I will know about this show, I am a team first, player second guy when it comes to my favorite teams. Unfortunately, hey bro, even with my favorite player of all time, hey bro, this gotta end. Luka can do the exact same thing that you do, and he's younger, bro. We gotta do something here.
Ain't nobody trading for LeBron.
Somebody's crazy enough to do it.
I don't know.
I doubt
it. They're gonna let that contract expire. They're playing the semi-long game. So building around Luka, gonna let that contract expire. They're gonna look to bring in another free agent. Possibly, Greek Freak, Giannis, something like that. I think they are definitely trying to play the long game. They've got that multiple time billionaire who's the owner right now. Yeah, they're gonna do this thing the right way. They're gonna LA Dodger it out there and look to build that thing.
Side question about Giannis potentially becoming a Laker. If he actually becomes a Laker, I will understand the vitriol and hate the Lakers fans deserve because I think that there's a non-zero chance that we get him, but if we somehow get Giannis and he has a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar arc with our team, oh my goodness, I'm going to be overjoyed because again, Giannis's 50-point performance literally is like made me want to be a journalist because I literally saw it. I was like, dang, like I want to be like sitting here reporting on this because this is like such a special moment for him. Because I'd follow his story all throughout his career, right? So if he comes to my favorite team, oh my goodness, like, hey, and then LeBron retires, because again, Giannis has been like one of my favorite players in the league. So listen, I've been a consistent Giannis fan. I've never switched up about that. If by some miracle Luka and Giannis bring back Showtime somehow, some way, which is oh yeah, I will be prepared for the hate and the vitriol. It's just like the Lakers are bought by the league.
Yeah. They're doing smoke and mirrors, Jedi mind trick with that whole New York Knicks thing. I'm like, nah, I don't see it. I
definitely see Giannis. It's up. It's up. Yep, new dynasty again. OKC, it's over. Move over. Giannis and Luka for the next. And Luka has talked about wanting to play for Giannis for years. So I'm just saying, hey,
let's start the rivalry. Have them going against each other. Western Conference Finals. You have one team, homegrown, built from the draft. Another one, differently. But hey, it'll be a great clash, great battle.
I don't think the Bucs would ever give up Giannis though.
No, they won't have to because he'll leave as a free agent.
He's leaving
because he only has another year on his deal.
Doc Rivers is his coach. Like, Josh Rivers is his coach, y'all.
And that's why that's why I say the Lakers are playing the long game. They're not trading and not doing none of that. They're letting LeBron's contract expire, clearing the books, and I think they're gonna straight up just get him on as a free agent.
Yeah, that'd be
Also, my bad. I also have a question. We don't talk a lot about baseball on the show, but what Shohei Ohtani did, like we just got to mention real quick. 3 home runs, knocking it out of the park. 6 innings pitched, only 2 hitters, only 2 people had a hit, and 10 strikeouts. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
you're an alien, bro. You're not real. You're not real. You're not from this planet, bro. How does?
Yeah, and one of those
like, homers. I've watched baseball games before. I know how this is supposed to work. That's not supposed to happen. That is not something that a human should be capable of doing.
Yeah, hit it out the stadium, 469 feet.
Like,
one of those homers.
That
was crazy.
Pitching,
I can't. Yeah.
Innings.
Yeah.
Like Shohei, hey man, hey, that's something special, y'all. Like we gotta appreciate this while we have it because that feels like greatest baseball player of all time stuff. You know, and again, I haven't watched enough baseball to decide like who are the greatest players of all time. But that I see stuff like that, and that just makes me go. So, Derek, as a baseball watcher, what did you think about that? Because I needed to know.
Oh yeah. I saw a lot of that game, and I was just mesmerized by it. So thankful that made it to LA to see them play last year. So that was so cool. I'm so happy that the Padres were out of town. Because if the Padres were in town, we would not have seen them because we were in San Diego. And Diego loves them, and we were right around the corner from the stadium, but they were out of town, so we drove up to LA because we really wanted to see a baseball game, and got to see the Dodgers, and I'm so happy because it was great seeing Ohtani and seeing all of them, and that team is just, oh my gosh, that team is so loaded, and they just have a vibe about them. Even in that game we went to, it was like they were down, but like any situation they face, like they have the ultimate confidence that they're gonna come back and win. It's a great team to watch.
That's good.
Shout out to the Dodgers, man, and shout out to Shohei. I just had to mention that because
anytime
I just see something that's just like an anomaly in sports, we gotta mention because that's ridiculous, man. Shout out to Shohei.
Yeah. Well, going back to the NBA, one more question for you guys regarding like this NBA season. What team do you think is going to be the biggest flop? With all these trades and everything, like which team do you think is like going to do really bad? Or like
biggest flop or disappointment? I'm honestly going to say the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that we've hyped them up year after year, and they're like this fresh young team, but every single time after that, like after the playoff game that they had versus us, it's just they've been injured every single year. I don't know what's going on with their medical staff. It feels like a 49ers situation where it's like you have a team with all this potential, and then all of a sudden just injury after injury after injury. I feel like Jalen Wells is hurt, and some other players are hurt as well. So it's like we always expect Memphis to take that next step. In the East, I would say now the Pistons have expectations, which is good because the East seems wide open. But I would also say the Pistons. I feel like last year was a great year for them, but Jaden Ivey's hurt again, so that's why I'm like, you got to have that secondary score outside of Cade because again, Malik Beasley's whole situation, y'all weren't able to sign him, so you don't have that score outside of Cade. And because the Celtics being hurt, everybody's like, oh, it's the Pistons, the Magic, the Knicks, like they're gonna like make the leap. The Cavs are going to make the leap, and it's like, I don't think that they will. So I would definitely say the Pistons and the Grizzlies are going to be my disappointments of the season.
Man, speaking of the Pistons, I hate Beasley did not get signed. Like, soon as he becomes a free agent to sign, the allegations come out, right? So then they go and sign somebody else, and then everything's dropped, and he's left.
The money's dried up. I don't know how that. Like,
what in the
I
world?
don't know what he could do to like talk to the NBA, reinstate it, something, because it's like,
Crazy.
because
Yeah.
I'm like, if you get caught up in it, I get it. But if you're now acquitted of everything
Right.
and you knew you wanted to get signed to that team because of how well
Yeah.
you played and
Yeah.
gelled with that team, you
Yeah.
should be able to. Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
kind of rules or regulations they gotta
Mhm.
figure out, but that
Love.
was crazy.
I love watching. I mean, he had one of the best sellies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It's
so
funny.
I love watching him.
The hip
So I just
shake is
wanted to
good.
mention that. But yeah, I think the Hawks are a
Mm.
fraud. A lot of people have them number 3.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see this stack roster that they supposedly have. I'm like, okay, name me one all-star outside of Trey Young. I just don't. I don't get it. So I think that's a whole lot of potential and hope that people are seeing. And I know lately, the last few years, Trey hasn't meshed well with other people that were all-stars. So I just don't see. I don't see it with the Hawks. I don't buy into the Hawks hype. And I'd say the Spurs concern me.
Ooh.
Um, they concern me more from a hate to go there, but an injury standpoint. I just there's a reason why we haven't seen anybody Wemby size, pan out. And he's grown. I hear he grew 2 more inches. You know what I'm saying in the off season.
Ooh.
I'm like,
Ooh.
it's so
I guess it doesn't stop growing at a certain age.
Hey,
exactly. I'm
well,
like, how?
he is 21, so
Right?
that does track.
So,
Like, I think dudes like we stop growing, we're like 24, 25. But even still,
yeah,
like when you're 7'5", that should we're 7'3",
right.
that should be the end. Like that should be
Yeah,
on
yeah,
like how tall you should be, because you already like different human being. Like that's
right.
It's
that's
not
not
normal.
cool.
So
Yeah.
that can so again, you can look at it one way and say, "Oh man, well, wow, that's great. He was already amazing," and then you add 2 inches. Yeah, but I just, being older and knowing and seeing generations of players and issues with big men,
Yeah.
Mm.
that concerns me actually.
Yeah, they're more like
Uh,
trade prone.
yeah, yeah. So I actually would be crazy. I don't even say it as a hot take or anything, but just it'll be interesting to look back on what the verdict would be with this. But man, if I'm the Spurs, I'd even look to maybe even trade him. You know what I mean? Because just imagine, Ben, people be like, "What? You can't? It's a generational player." I get it, but could you imagine the haul you could get for Wemby? So
It's true.
I I consider it, man. I just have to be like Nico Collins, and how crazy that was to trade Luca, and see how it may have worked for
State of
both. Like
Texas.
they might have to hate me for a couple years until they see how it pans out.
Yeah.
State of Texas would just be like in
Oh, it would be
shambles.
crazy. It would be
Would be
crazy.
in shambles yet again. I
It would be
couldn't.
crazy.
Oh,
It would be
I
crazy. But again, okay. Did Kevin Durant go number 1?
went number 2.
Went number 2. Why did he go number 2?
That was right.
Because Greg Oden
That's a
went
great
number
order.
1.
Was yeah.
Greg Oden went number 1, and it was a no-brainer. Like there was 1 or 2 people maybe saying KD, and we all saw how great KD was. But it was like, yeah, as great as he is, no, Oden, you cannot pass on Oden. You know what I mean? And you look back, so I don't know. I have concerns. Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of
Derek's wise. We gotta listen to him.
Yeah, I'll listen to you on that. I was mostly going to talk about the fact that they had like 3 guards, playing like the same, kind of
Yeah.
playing the same way. Because like, how are you going to have Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, and the other rookie that they have, Dylan Harper, on the floor at the same time? Who's going to be playing defense? Because yeah, Wemby can play like, just like be like, go shoot a layup, but teams are gonna scheme a way around that. Like smart NBA teams are gonna know how to scheme a way around that. So like, you have a bunch of like young guard play with guys who aren't necessarily top flight defenders. You're expecting them all to be on the floor at the same time. So that's why I was leaning more so on the Spurs. You're like, okay, you might get traded. I was like, oh, okay, that's understandable. But I'm also like, they're relying on like a second year player and a rookie to like basically contribute to the Spurs now becoming a lottery team. So I agree that like his injury history is a concern, and you hope that like the Avengers level training that he did with like KG and Hakeem Olajuwon and all them, it
I hope
somehow
so.
worked. And now Wemby's like, the Jedi mind of basketball, the ultimate
Yeah,
basketball player.
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not sold on them because again, literally the three guards, like they're a very, very young team. And
That's
it's not
fair.
like the OKC where they were a young team who like went through stuff, yet they added veteran pieces that could contribute on the defensive end, like a Caruso. Like that's what made like Caruso and Hartenstein did. Like that's what made OKC OKC. So I don't see that with the Spurs. So that's why when people say, "Oh, the Spurs are going to the chip," Wemby changed. Nah, that's not happening this year. So I agree with that take for sure.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Now let's move on to the NFL once again.
Yes.
Okay, so who do you think is the best right now in MVP?
Whew. Well, there was a co-MVP for the Indianapolis Colts. First off, I will say Daniel Jones, because he's the quarterback, is going to get all the hype for it. I agree with that completely. He has Shane Steichen has revitalized his career. Also, damning indictment on Anthony Richardson because the fact that like Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert when he was coached by Steichen had a great year. Jalen Hurts had a great year, and now Daniel Jones, who every single person in the offseason was like, this is the worst quarterback room in the league, right? Is
Yeah.
now leading this team to a 6-1 record. And everybody's like, but it's the AFC. They're winning against like teams that are bad. You play who you play. And I'm seeing how this offense is looking with them. This might be the best quarterback in football this year. And we would not say Daniel Jones was anywhere near that. So
Yeah.
I would say for me, if I could, I'd split it between him and Jonathan Taylor because Jonathan Taylor has been the best running back in football, just like all the big plays he's been making.
Yeah.
Like I would say that would be like the co MVP because the Colts this year, they feel like okay, this is a good team, but it's also like, but again, I feel like this is going to be one of those teams where like they're going to run up against the Chiefs. Like if the Chiefs are somehow a wild card team, they're going to play the Chiefs in the first round, and they might lose because of the playoff experience. That's my big concern with the Colts. But I do think because it is a regular season award, I'm going by the team that has like looked the best and performed the best versus their competition. I would have to give it to Daniel. I would say Daniel Jones is the leader for MVP. Say he is the MVP though, that hurts because I've been slandering him. I've been talking bad about this man for years. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. If anybody pulls up what I said about Daniel Jones, y'all, it's yeah. So sorry, man. I didn't know you had this in you. You needed coaching. So yeah, man. It's but yeah, really making me eat my words, man. Because I was like, I don't know what the Colts are doing. It shouldn't even be in the league, and now it's like, oh, never mind. They knew exactly what they're doing. Let's trust NFL talent evaluators and scouts. They have jobs for a reason.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Man, nah, I mean, hey, Lamar, this is all setting it up great for him.
All
You
right,
know, they got that easy schedule coming up.
5 with that
People are
defense.
not gonna be all that high on Daniel Jones. See, he doesn't have the name brand recognition. But Lamar goes on this run, goes undefeated, and gets the Ravens into the playoffs and even win that division, puts up numbers, there'll be a case. And the Colts slide a little bit at the end. This is going to go down to the final week. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be a home run. There's going to be a lot of up and down. You've got, Tampa, they had that bad loss,
Mhm.
but Baker can continue to push them through. Mahomes is going to start to get a whole lot of buzz now
Yeah.
that they've got Rashid and he's got his, people and everything. He's going to be putting up numbers. So, and I think the appetite would be much better for it to go to like a Mahomes than a Daniel Jones. I think
Yeah,
I think the voters would like to see Daniel do it another year before they
Yeah.
just give him MVP for kind of like
Right.
a out of nowhere season. I don't
Yeah.
know if they want to give, you know what I
uh,
mean? So I think if there's any chance to give it to anybody else, they're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute.
yeah. Well,
So we'll see.
well. To be fair, like, so would you consider like Diego Jones is more so like a comeback player of the year, like a Joe Flacco situation, where it's like, okay, like you came back from that situation.
yeah,
Okay, that would be a lot more
yeah,
understandable. I agree with that
mhm,
because, yeah,
mhm,
because if we're looking at like most valuable player, like who was carrying his team without
yeah,
Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy, yeah,
yeah,
that dude in Kansas City. I'm sorry,
mhm,
he looks back to like pre-COVID form, like Tyreek Hill
yeah,
form,
yeah,
and I am very scared. Like that Chiefs documentary. First when they lost to the Eagles, I was like, okay, yeah, they might run it back this year. But then like the 0-2 start, I was like, oh yeah, no, Kansas City, it might not be.
mhm,
I am very scared of Kansas City again because again,
yeah. They,
Mahomes is rounding
man,
into form. It
yes,
looks easy for him again. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
yes,
the offense
yeah,
is like, you know,
yes,
uh, ah. That's when
yes,
they were the scariest too. That's why I'm like, oh no, man. I
yeah,
just whatever team in the NFC, please be ready. Please be
yeah,
prepared because y'all
yeah.
are going to survive a gauntlet. Whoever makes it out of the NFC, you're going to play the best
Mhm.
teams in the league, and then you're going to have to play a team that's won 3 Super Bowls because I really do
Mhm.
see the Chiefs. I don't want to switch on my Super Bowl pick because I do think if the Lions make it, they should be able to win, right? But
I think the Lions are one of the only teams, probably the only team that can hang with the Chiefs. The way the Chiefs are
Yeah.
looking now,
yeah,
I think that's
because
the only team
it's
that can hang
it,
with them.
it's getting scary now because like what they did to the Raiders, like making a professional football team. You wait, they had what is it? They had more points than the Raiders had first downs. No, they
Yeah.
had more for yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yep,
yeah,
yep,
Kansas City, Kansas City.
yeah.
So, we thought they were dead, but then all of a sudden they come back.
Uh,
It's
I know. I still
no.
think Josh Allen.
okay. I
Hey,
believe.
he's definitely gonna try to make a push because they've had some
These
bad
past 2 weeks.
losses and they need to kind of get it together. So
Yep,
you're gonna see,
exactly.
I think you're gonna see his best over these next
Yep.
few weeks. So
They
I'm
yeah,
have
excited
to
it'll
see
to
it.
be
see it.
They have to see it because all of a sudden the Patriots look like they
Right.
may be
yeah,
like
Yeah.
which
All these teams came out of nowhere.
yeah,
They're just like amazing.
definitely did.
Like what
Definitely
happened?
did. Definitely did.
All right.
All
Moving
right.
on towards the end. Let's talk
Yes.
about fantasy. Fantasy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Derek, how you feeling,
Yeah.
man? You starting to
Yeah.
swing back, Pickens and Metcalf and Justin Jefferson. They're starting to show up
Yeah.
for you, man. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. A little something. I'm still just kind of chilling. It's not playoff time yet. So,
Yep.
like I said before, wake me up in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, team is doing their thing, but not getting too high, not getting too low, just kind of staying even kill,
Staying
staying
under
kind
the
of
radar.
yeah, yeah. I'm Jalen Hurts in it, right now. Yeah.
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 Chilling.
I mean, my situation, I'm 3-3. I'm happy to be at 3-3 because
Yeah.
I left some dogs on the bench. I left Joe Flacco on the bench, and
Ooh.
Bryce started and got
Fine.
hurt, and I was like, oh no,
Oh, man.
oh, it's over. I'm losing this week. I
Man.
somehow won. So hey, thank
Ooh.
goodness. But man, it was bad. And then I lost a close one the week we were off. So yeah,
Okay.
that was just I was in the
Yeah.
3-game skid. We got back to 4. We rounded back to 4. Now I feel
Yeah.
like a little bit better about this thing. But
Yeah.
woo! Yeah, Keenan Allen, Devontae
Mhm.
Smith, thank y'all so much for having the games of y'all life. Yeah, it
Nice.
got real scary because
Nice.
once I saw Joe Flacco at 34, I was like, Bryce,
Man.
I need you to do something. Bryce got that like one touchdown. I was like, okay, this is enough. This is all I need. And I was like, I need everybody else on my team to show up, and that they did. But
Yeah.
oh
So I
yeah,
got two things on fantasy. One, Mike Sims. We're in another league together.
okay,
And it's funny because I beat him by half a point in this other league, and it was a shootout. It was when he had Trevor Lawrence in that game when Trevor scored at the end and all of that. So he had his
Yeah.
had as a quarterback on Monday night. And I woke up that morning and it showed that I lost by half a point.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh man, okay. And then I was setting my lineup and I was looking at the standings and I was like, I'm in first. I was like, okay, but how am I in first if I have another loss? And then I went back and looked and saw that I beat him by a half a point. So I thought I just misread it. It was like 165 and a half to 160. And I just woke up. So I thought I just read it wrong. So I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't even think to even talk junk to him. I was so busy. So we were at the event this weekend and he brought it up, right? And then he told me, he said, nah, it actually showed that he won it first. And then the corrections came in. And it's like that it's like those couple hours with their corrections, and it fixed it. And I ended up beating him. And all his folks were clowning him about it. And then to make it so bad, they were like, oh, did Derek say anything to you? Is he trash talking? He was like, nah, to make it so bad, he's not even saying anything. And I didn't even say anything because I didn't even know what happened. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Then the other thing, real quick before we jump, is David Cook in our fantasy league. He sent me a text today. He was like, man, we need a pick and pro. We need fantasy basketball league. Right. And I was like, man, I did it one time, literally 20 years ago. And I won, actually. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. I won. I'm not doing it again because it was just so intense. There's so many games. That's like people doing fantasy baseball. Like, okay, you just way more of a sports person than me. That's different, right?
You love the game in a different way. That's so games, bro. I am not that dedicated, not at all.
When he told me, he was like, yeah, fantasy basketball. I was like, huh. I was like, it's not a bad idea. I was like, well, hey, I'm not going to be commissioner. I said, hey, get Brandon to be the commissioner. So like,
Brandon got it.
So shout out to you, Brandon. I'm sure you're still watching. But then check this out. Literally about 5 minutes later, I get the invite for the fantasy basketball league. So he set it up already. So I got to go find it and everything. But he's going to look to try to set one up.
There it is. Wait, I got two.
Hey man, I'm already in 4 fantasy leagues for football, y'all. It's a lot. It's been a lot this year, y'all. I'm 6-1, 2-5, 3-3, 4-3. I'm going. There's a lot of emotions going on over here, y'all. So
I just had to say that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, yeah. I know it was halftime of the Rockets and Thunder. Last I checked, they're probably in the third quarter now. So go and check that out and check out the Jordan interview since the NBA is on NBC now. So happy days are here again.
Yes. They're acknowledging the GOAT again. Derek's GOAT. They're acknowledging
my GOAT too.
Okay. Bree, you were. Wait, you're 19. How was okay.
I watch film. I watch old videos. I know the NBA is way more than it is now. Okay, the NBA is just such a flop, and it's nothing. Okay, it's nothing.
You're bought into the propaganda. See, listen.
That wisdom.
I'm smart. That's why I know.
I don't disagree. Right. Like I understand why you have the take you do. I begrudgingly say he's the greatest player of all time. But I just, there's a bunch of stuff that I also had to see. But it's like, I always find it weird where it's people in our age range who say that Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. Because you at least, Derek, the one thing that I will say, you at least have the textbook evidence as a person who grew up in Chicago watching that man play in the 90s. You've seen it firsthand. So you have the better first-hand account. So that's why I'll hear y'all out when y'all say it. But when it's like somebody Bree or my age, I'm like, wait, we weren't there.
Elite ball knowledge.
Okay. I was just curious about that because I'm always like,
I love it.
And my mom raised me right. You know what I mean? Like, I watch and I still watch Michael Jordan on YouTube and everything else. I love old NBA way better than today.
We'll have to do that one day. It's a great video out. I'll find it because I have it saved of Jordan's like all his points in the games in like the late 80s or whatever. And it's crazy because it's like just rapid fire, play after play after play. But it was literally no dribble, one dribble, two dribble pull up, like rapid fire, boom, boom. Like it wasn't all this extra motion It was one dribble pull up, bam. One dribble pull up, bam. One dribble pull up, bam. Money, 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 money. Oh man. Yep.
All right.
Crazy.
Yep.
Good old days. I wasn't even born, but good old days.
Good old days when you weren't even on this planet. But all right.
Michelle.
You're reminiscing on Derek's time. You know how crazy that is, right?
All right. All right, y'all. Were you ready to get on out of here?
Yep.
Yes, gotta cook dinner.
Oh, yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. We will see y'all next time, next week. Thanks for joining us. Till then, pick 'em pros.
Pickle Pros.